Welcome to Sabotage Games and welcome back to RaceCraft Academy. In the last episode, we analysed Juliana's race submission, breaking down the fundamentals that hold up under pressure and the small details that quietly cost lap time and track position. That's what this series is all about. Not theory, not perfect laps, but real racecraft in real conditions. Traffic, pressure and split-second decisions. In this episode, the focus is entirely on Larvelosange. We're going to break down their race step by step, looking at decisions being made in traffic and how situations are managed under pressure and where small adjustments can make a big difference over a race distance. If you want to understand why some drivers seem composed, decisive and consistently hard to race against, this is where it all starts. So let's get straight into it. One of the strongest aspects of Larvelosange's driving is how committed the overtakes are. When a move is on, it's taken decisively, with clear position and confidence. That level of commitment reduces hesitation and actually lowers the risk in wheel-to-wheel situations. That decisiveness is important because hesitation is what creates risk in wheel-to-wheel racing. By committing early, Larv gives the other driver clear information, where the car is going, how the corner is going to be approached, and what space is being claimed. That clarity reduces surprise, lowers the chance of contact, and actually makes the overtake safer for both cars. What's particularly strong here is the commitment isn't aggressive. The moves aren't forced and they're not built on late braking alone. They're set up over multiple corners using positioning, exits and momentum. By the time the pass happens, it feels inevitable rather than opportunistic. To support that strength even further, there's a clear opportunity around field of view. The current FOV is quite wide, which creates a strong sense of speed and immersion, but it can also slightly distort depth and perception. Under heavy braking or in close racing, that distortion makes it harder to judge exact closing speeds and braking references consistently. By gradually bringing the FOV in, Larv will gain a more accurate sense of distance to the car ahead and a clearer visual reference for braking points. That doesn't slow the driving down, it actually makes the timing more reliable. When your perception of space is more accurate, it becomes easier to commit to the moves with confidence rather than relying on instinct alone. This is particularly important in wheel-to-wheel situations. A more neutral FOV helps with side-by-side awareness, makes it easier to judge overlap, and reduces the chance of over or under-committing into a corner. For a driver who already makes good decisions, this adjustment simply removes uncertainty from the picture. The key point here isn't about changing racecraft, it's about supporting it. With a slightly more realistic field of view, those well-judged overtakes become easier to repeat lap after lap, especially when the margins are tight and the pressure is high. Another clear positive is the way corner speed is carried throughout the lap. In medium and high speed corners especially, the car remains balanced and composed, with smooth steering inputs and no unnecessary corrections. There's a clear emphasis on maintaining flow rather than forcing the car to rotate or chasing lap time in a way that compromises stability. This momentum-based approach is exactly what you want in race conditions. By prioritising minimum speed through the corner and a clean exit, Larv keeps the car predictable and efficient. That not only preserves tyre life over a race distance, but also sets up a stronger exits onto the following straights, which is often where overtakes are really completed. What stands out is the patience being shown on corner entry. Instead of attacking the brake pedal or trying to carry speed at any cost, the car is placed accurately, allowed to settle, and then driven out of the corner with intent. That restraint is a sign of good racecraft and situational awareness, not a lack of aggression. Over a full race distance, this style pays dividends. It reduces mistakes, lowers mental load, and makes lap times more repeatable. It's this kind of driving that keeps you in the fight deep into a race, rather than peaking early and falling away as conditions change. Building on that corner speed, input refinement is the next natural step. Larv is racing on a controller, and given that constraint, the level of car control on display is already strong. The car is rarely unsettled, and corrections are generally measured rather than reactive, which speaks to solid underlying technique. It's also important to say this clearly. Getting a wheel and pedals isn't always accessible for everyone, whether it's cost, space, or practicality. A controller is a valid way to race, and this drive shows that strong racecraft doesn't depend on hardware alone. Because of that, this isn't about equipment, it's about optimization. With a controller, steering inputs are naturally more sensitive, and small movements can quickly load the front tyres. By smoothing those inputs slightly and fine-tuning sensitivity settings, it becomes easier to keep the tyre working in its optimal window, rather than scrubbing across the surface. The biggest gains come on corner exit. Cleaner, more progressive steering allows power to be applied earlier and with confidence, reducing corrections and improving traction onto the straight. Over a race distance, that means less tyre wear and lap times that remain consistent under pressure. These refinements don't change the driving style, they support it. A third standout strength in Larve's driving is composure under pressure. Once the lead is taken, there's an immediate shift in mindset. There's no over-defending into corners, no mirror fixation, and no reactionary driving to the cars behind. Instead, the focus stays on executing the race plan. That ability to separate what matters from what doesn't is critical. Many drivers lose the race from the front not because they lack pace, because they start driving defensively rather than efficiently. Here, Larve continues to hit the braking points, manage corner exits and maintain rhythm, trusting pace rather than forcing control. What's particularly impressive is the consistency under pressure. Lap times remain stable, inputs stay measured, and there's no escalation in risk as the race progresses. That tells you the driver is comfortable with the situation and confident in their own pace. This is how races are closed out, not only by reacting to every move behind, but by controlling the variables you can control. When composure stays high, mistakes stay low, and over a race distance, that's often the deciding factor between leading a race and winning it. The final opportunity lies in visual clarity. A few post-processing effects are enabled that add atmosphere and immersion, which can be great for presentation, but they also introduce unnecessary visual noise. In racing, especially over a full distance, clarity is performance. When the effects are reduced, braking references stand out more clearly, track edges are easier to read, and spatial awareness in traffic improves. That reduction in visual clutter lowers cognitive load, meaning fewer mental resources are spent interpreting the image and more can be dedicated to decision making and consistency. This becomes increasingly important late in the race, as fatigue builds and pressure increases. The smallest distractions can lead to missed braking points and imprecise placement. Cleaner visuals make it easier to stay calm, stay focused, and execute the fundamentals under pressure. Much like the FOV on input refinement, this isn't about changing how Larve drives, it's more about removing friction from the environment. By simplifying what the eyes are processing, the already strong racecraft and composure becomes easier to maintain when it matters most. Overall, this is a very strong performance. The fundamentals are in place, the mindset is right, and the racecraft is effective. The improvements here aren't corrections, they're refinements that make it easier to access this level of driving every time you're on track. If you found this breakdown useful and you want to explore more RaceCraft Academy further, Episode 1 is available now and links directly into what we've covered here. I've also just launched the Sabotage Games Patreon. Any support there goes straight back into the channel, improving production quality, expanding analysis depth, and building a better educational content across all the series. If you'd like to support that direction, the link's in the description. No pressure, just another way to be part of where this channel goes next. I thank you very much for watching, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next episode.